Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Ladies of Crypto on Martyn Lucas Investor. If this is your first time here, I'm Casey, and we've got a lot of breaking headlines today, a lot of dynamic situations going on. So if you opened your portfolio today and it looked like it tripped down. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Ladies of Crypto on Martyn Lucas Investor. If this is your first time I am so sorry, guys. I've got my video playing in the background. I had to pause that. I apologize. Okay. So, what I was going to say was if you opened your portfolio today and it looked like it took a trip down the stairs, so did mine. I'm in the same situation. Welcome to Everything is on sale today. But before we get into any of the situation with the crash today or the crash that's coming, I want to share a bit of breaking news with you. So I know a lot of you just came in from Martyn's show, and he was talking about the Clarity Act passing. You may have seen the headlines. It passed, the Senate passed part of the Clarity Act today. So we are going to take a look at some news on the Clarity Act. Let's see. So let's look at what's going on in the news here. The crypto bill clears U.S. Senate milestone as efforts advance through the first committee. The market structure legislation for the first time advanced beyond a committee, setting up the next steps that could end with a vote of the overall chamber. So here are things to know. After a brief series of amendments were rejected, the U.S. Senate Agricultural Committee voted to advance its version of the crypto market structure bill to its next phase. That's a high watermark for market structure legislation in the Senate after years of negotiation and lobbying, but the bill still needs the same treatment at the Senate Banking Committee. It's also lacking Democratic support and would be required for an eventual passage in the overall Senate though Democrats remain at the negotiating table. So we're going to go back for a second here, and we're going to translate this into to everyday people's talk rather than Washington, D.C. talk. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with. The full Senate didn't pass the whole Clarity Act today. A Senate committee, the Senate Agricultural Committee, advanced its portion of the crypto market structure effort, focused on giving the CFTC clearer authority over digital commodities and the businesses that handle them. Okay, so think of it like this. We didn't just win the Super Bowl. We won a playoff game. It's important, but we're not having a parade yet. Okay, so the Clarity Act is basically Congress saying, can we please stop pretending crypto is a legal mystery novel? It tries to create an actual rule book. What counts as a digital commodity? What counts as a security? And whether the SEC or CFTC is supposed to be the main referee. So right now, crypto in the US is like a soccer game where half of the players think it's football, and the refs show up only to hand out penalties. But no one ever published the rules with crypto. Okay, I'm just going to check in the chat here, and then we're going to move on. For those of you who have been here before, I think I finally got the chat. I think I'm finally sharing the chat correctly. If you can see this right, just let me know. Let's see. Human being Liz. Liz, hi, how are you? I'm going to scroll up here and see how everyone's doing. Rua's Family Finance, Kimberly. Hello. Mickey Six Strings 62, good evening from the US. He's in the UK, or they are in the UK, so good evening. Okay. Brian Bynum, hello. Dylan Wilson. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if we have any questions here starting. Hi to everyone here. It's time, we the people. The SE chair, Paul Atkins, says regulators are ready to provide clear crypto rules. One can only hope. This is very political and it is very divided. So I hope that it gets passed through, but I think that we still have kind of a long stretch to go here. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in here. Crypto Prince 1969. Hello. Hi from Hawaii. That's great. Wish I were in Hawaii right now. Teresa McQuarrie. Hello. Paul. So it's old school hockey. A hockey game broke out in a fight. That sounds about right. Okay, let's go back to talking about the Clarity Act here. Okay. So why does this committee piece matter? This committee step matters because the CFTC lane is the commodity market lane. The side that would regulate trading venues and intermediaries for assets that are treated more like commodities. And yes, the House already passed the Clarity Act bill last year. So the Senate moving any piece is a real sign that this is not just theater. Now we just need to get everybody to play well in the sandbox together on both sides of the aisle. Okay. Why does this matter to everyday people? If this ever becomes law, here's what could change for you. More legitimate platforms can operate with clearer registration rules. Potentially fewer sketchy gray zone products marketed as safe when they aren't. And more institutions feel comfortable entering because there's a framework, not just vibes, I guess. I really don't like the word vibes, but I think it fits here. Okay. So do you want crypto regulated like A, stocks, B, commodities, or C, I don't trust any of them? Drop A, B, or C in the chat. So A was you want it regulated like stocks, B, like commodities, and C, I don't trust any of them. Okay. Okay, now I'm not pretending that this is perfect. Critics are warning about definition loopholes and whether investor protections could get weaker depending on the final text. And the White House is literally trying to broker compromise between banks and crypto companies, which tells you that this is politically hot and still very negotiable. Okay, so what happens next? The next steps are that the Senate Banking Committee has to move its piece next. The Senate has to stitch versions together, and then you go to a floor vote. Then reconcile with the White House, and then the president. So today is not we're done. Today is the rules are finally being written in public. Clarity isn't about pumping crypto. It's about finally deciding the rules. So who regulates what, how platforms operate, and how customers are protected. Okay, so let's go back to see if there's anything more in this headline that we need to talk about. Okay. A U.S. Senate committee formally advanced the crypto market structure bill on Thursday, moving to a new stage with legislation that the industry hopes will help it reach a new plateau of investor confidence and involvement. This is as far as crypto sector's top policy effort has ever progressed in the Senate, though there are some headwinds. The committee working on the bill was the Senate Agricultural Committee, and this is what we talked about earlier. And its Republican chairman chose to step away from negotiations and vote on the legislation without bipartisan support. The resulting Republican-driven result concluded quickly with a 12 to 11 party line vote. We'll still need to gather significant Democratic support before it can eventually clear the structural hurdles of the Senate. And after months of work, we have made significant progress, really significant progress, working together, said Committee Chair John Boozman. As the panel began work, now it's time to move this process forward. So it looks like we're going to go back to chat here and see what everyone is thinking about this. If you have any questions. Okay, let's go up here. Oh, good. Thank you for your answers. We've got a mixed bag of answers here. That's great. H, Miguel Jordan 36. H. I don't think H was an option, but sounds like maybe you just want to exit the system altogether. Okay, the Ruiz Family Finance. If you want it to be a stock, just get the ETF. Absolutely true. If you want it to be like a stock, get the ETF. Banks want control. It's time we the people. The Ruiz Family Finance, the crypto ETFs are traded like a stock. Absolutely. Vocal FASA. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Just to protect against the institutional manipulation, at least a bit. I couldn't agree more. It would be nice to have some of that clarity. In my opinion, this clarity is going to be fantastic for overall markets and for retail and for institutional adoption, as crypto kind of moves in and becomes an integral part of the new monetary system that we're moving towards. But I also think that a lot of people that have been in crypto for a long time, typically they're looking for that huge 4-year bull run cycle, which would have been in 2025 had it not broken the cycle, the 4-year cycle. And I believe that we are still going to have a bull market in 2026 at some point. I think it's going to be very volatile, though, going up and down. I do think that we are going to get into a bull market. But I also believe that it's never going to be like it was when there wasn't regulation. We're not going to see those massive, massive swings up and those massive swings down. So it does make it... I'm hoping that we will get less risk, which will bring in more retail adoption. Okay. Let's see, Ruiz Family. You cannot do a wash cycle on crypto ETF, but you can on spot. Yeah. Thank you for that. Zebra S3N. Let's see, which one? The Pure Ports security and yields equally? I apologize. I lost the chat here. I cannot. There we go. Okay. Where were we? Crypto genealogy. We are both short-term and long-term XRP. Yes, I have A portion of my XRP holdings are short term, and I'm looking to trade in and out, but I do keep a big percentage of my XRP for the long term. Okay, and then human being Liz, my Barclay Bank today announced US and Germany, we become another Austrian bank. Just like that, they sold the private customers. Oh, wow. Interesting. Stop the stupid rug pulls and hurting people. It's time we the people. Yes. Let's see. Cryptovarious, just because it's regulated doesn't make it not able to be manipulated. Well, I mean, stocks are regulated, commodities are regulated, foreign exchange is regulated, lots of markets are regulated, and there's still absolute manipulation. So I would agree with you there. I do think it brings more institutional adoption. Yeah, it brings more institutional adoption because then we're looking at actual clear rule book, playbook regulations and not regulating by lawsuits, like in the case of XRP. Okay, let's see. See dollar of any currency for examples. That's Chris FD9XS. Okay. Miguel, sorry, fat fingers, no worries. That, pardon me, that happens to me all the time. And Kevin, hi, good to see you, Kevin. You choose A, that's fantastic. Good afternoon, Earthlings. Okay, Sir Joey 806. Banks don't want to pay yields on crypto. That's the main issue. That is a huge issue. They don't want to pay the yields on crypto. So we will see where this Clarity Act takes us. I think that's part of the discussions that are going on, and maybe part of the problem. Also, I do want to mention that the House has already passed a portion of the Clarity Act last year. And when they did that, it included language with CBDCs. And we don't see that language in the Senate version of the bill. So there is going to have to be some reconciliation between the House and the Senate when this finally goes to the floor, if it doesn't include the same language. So I'm hoping that will happen quickly, but I think that there's going to be, we have quite a few hurdles to jump over before we get there. Maybe that'll happen quickly, and it might be drawn out if we still have such divisiveness between parties. Okay. Diesel Raider. I lost it again. Let Martyn Lucas be the sheriff of crypto and control it all. Hey, that would be a good idea, Diesel. I think that Martyn would be great at that. And Yolanda, hello. It's great to see you here. XRP, is it a good time to buy or not? So I think it's a developing situation. I did purchase some XRP today after I sold off, and then I was able to buy back at a lower price, so I increased my position. I think that this is going to be volatile here for a while, so I can't tell you if it's a great time to buy or to sell for you, because I don't know what your entry points are. I don't know what your position is. I don't know if you're entering for the first time or you're trying to lower your average cost. So I can tell you that I'm just keeping an eye on a quickly developing situations. Okay, let's see. John Davidson, 6409. What do you think of how silver's market cap, how the majority of the silver has been destroyed by using in war? When will the market realize how little physical silver there is? I mean, it's a good point. It's something to ponder and think about. I think silver has historically been undervalued. And it is kind of gold is your store of value historically. And so that's something to think about. Thank you for the question. Okay. Rua's family. Honestly, the biggest issue I see in crypto right now is the liquidity issues in the M2 money supply is going up, but the net liquidity is still going down. Yes. Liquidity is always a problem in any market, but I think you're right. So let me read that again. The liquidity issues, the M2 money supply is going up, but the net liquidity is still going down. And yes, that would indicate if the M2 money supply is going up, that it is going into less risky assets. Okay. Will the Clarity Act allow stablecoin yields, or is Clarity another Trojan horse where banks win again? Well, that remains to be seen. That was Wisdoma 4860. The banks don't want institutions, banks, they don't want to allow those yields, especially, stable coins, if they're pegged to fiat currency. Yeah, there's a lot of questions surrounding that. Let's see. Crypto genealogy. I believe a government shutdown starts on Saturday. I am preparing for that. That will affect my family directly. So I would agree with you. I think that we are looking at a government shutdown. We have so much going on. There's so much going on in geopolitics. There's so much going on with developing situations at home. We've got such division. And I think that a lot of times, when the government, if the government shuts down, or historically when the government has shut down, it's usually like one or two sticking points. We now have, between parties, we now have quite a few issues that nobody is agreeing on. Like I said earlier, we've forgotten how to play in the sandbox together and have real grown-up conversations about things and try and look for solutions, not just practiced identity politics. And so I think that we do have a risk of things shutting down on the 31st. Let's see, bull market, Pirate Cartman. Okay. Can't read all of these names. I apologize again. I am butchering some of them because no one will put money there. Where will no put? I'm not sure what you mean, Chris FD 9XS. What did I say earlier that you were referencing? If you just want to let me know in the chat. Okay, vocal FASA. No regulation like we are in now gives the orchestrated technical pullback we are having right now. Okay. Yeah. Crypto genealogy. I had sold some higher and hope to buy back XRP lower, but always keep some. And then Frank Menu 4697. Would it be better if a worldwide council was established to enforce the same laws globally so that there is more clarity? I would not be in favor of that. For a number of reasons that we can get into on a different show. Okay. Crypto Cryptovarious. They could just have crypto in the background and everyone could use it without ever seeing it because of the interface. And then Chris again says at Vocal Fossa, it's lack of liquidity. You buy, you become exit liquidity. Yes, absolutely. You know, a lot of people that buy on the way up or when it's nearing the top, they are just going to become exit liquidity for others. Okay. Hello, Casey and TT50. Okay, what's expected on Bitcoin? Okay, so Bitcoin for me is something that I plan to hold very long term. Let's actually take a look at, give me just a second here. I believe, nope. I'm still learning, guys. I'm learning how to share some of this. If you were here on the first show, you know that I'm just going to bring this down here, see if this works. Nope. Wrong thing. That's the Bitcoin white paper. I feel like I'm sitting in a spaceship, which I said on my very first episode. It's getting better. I'm getting there, but there are a lot of screens to share here. Okay, so let me just move forward. As far as Bitcoin, what I was going to say is that I see Bitcoin as a way to exit the system. I also see it as a long-term holding. You know, when the time is right, I will do some shorter-term trades, but for the most part, my Bitcoin is locked up in cold storage, and I plan on keeping it that way as I accumulate. Okay. Diesel Raider, smash the bloody like button. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. If you're enjoying this, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so that you can see us live and you know, bringing you the latest news and everything to do with the markets. So let's see. Going to go back to here. Can't babysit. This is Chris. Can't babysit everything or have some sort of automated script that will convert to something else if something breaks when I sleep. That was a mouthful, Chris. Let's see. Can't babysit everything or have some sort of automated script that will convert to something else if something breaks when I sleep. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there, but I don't know. Is that related to bots? Okay. It's time we the people. It's about the amount of coin or shares that make you money. Sell high and buy low. Absolutely. Sell high and buy low when everyone else is panicking. But also you have to consider that you don't want to catch a falling knife. So it's hard to predict when the bottom is going to be. So usually when I'm trying to buy low, I'm waiting to see some type of trend reversal, giving me some indication that we might go higher. Okay, and then Vocal Fossa, CBDC is a nightmare. We here in the EU are talking about it and switching to pure digital currency, but never get consensus. Privacy concerns. Yep, I would agree. Thank you, Diesel and Rilo. for telling people to hit the like button. Okay, they know there's no silver though, hence manipulation. Yes, Chris. Yeah. The supply of silver is rapidly declining, and yeah, there's a lot more gold in the world than there is silver. Crypto various. I focus on any that involve payments. They're first to win, but not the only to win going forward, my opinion. I would agree we need absolute restructuring in the way that payments move around the world. Right now, things are slow, they're costly. And XRP was developed to combat that. We need to be able to move payments cross border more quickly. We need to be able to do it safely and for much lesser fees. So I would agree with you because that is why I love XRP. Okay. What's the main reason Solana is much higher priced than XRP? I don't have a great answer for that. That was Diesel Raider. I don't have a great answer for that. I think that, the history with XRP, with all the court cases, with all the manipulation, I think that, in my opinion, that XRP has been manipulated and held back. There has not been clarity. We thought we were going to get the Clarity Act passed by now. We thought that that was going to happen back in October, and then the government shut down, and it just keeps getting prolonged. We did pass the Genius Act, but also, I mean, that your question kind of brings up another question for me: is that was XRP intended for retail, or was it always designed for institutions, for banks? I believe that it wasn't designed for retail, but retail did play a major part in getting XRP to where they are. But I think that out of all of the assets that I hold, I see the most manipulation happening within XRP. Okay. Oh, Raylo 0.1, $2 super chat. Great job covering this story. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Wonderful. Thank you. And then Diesel Raider, check the tokenomics. Oh, that's Cryptovarious. Yeah, tokenomics are very important. I'm not sure which tokenomics you were asking him to check. Are we talking about Solana, or I guess it would be Solana versus XRP. So yes, the tokenomics play an important part, and we are going to next week get into how do you look at coins? How do you research different cryptocurrencies, different projects? We were going to do that this week, but today happened to be a lot going on in the market. So I'm going to go back to, let's see, first, let's see. Like this video, and we can go back to talking about what's going on in the market today. That would really help push this out to everyone, and I would greatly appreciate it. And now, let's see. So I'm going to talk about a couple more things, then I'll answer some more questions in the chat, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. But today we've had a lot happen, right? Like I said, if you woke up and felt like your portfolio fell down the stairs, I think a lot of us felt that way. So we're going to analyze what's going on here just a little bit. Housekeeping though, nothing I say is financial advice ever. This is market education and a reminder that panic selling is how Wall Street buys your asset at a discount. Okay. So let me know in the chat how you're feeling today about watching everything transpire and watching everything go down today. If you're calm, type I'm calm. If you're refreshing the app like it owes you money, type in owes me money. Okay. So today I'm going to go to the live view of this and we're going to look at some things here. Okay, so the S&P 500 is down 0.57%. You can see that since this morning, we took a big dip this morning and now it's coming back up. And then I'm going to look at the QQQ. Same thing, everything's having a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a recovery. And let's see, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is now, I'm going to refresh this because that doesn't look right. Okay. Bitcoin is now down 5.918. Or sorry, 5.91%. Okay, so notice the pattern here. Stocks are down a little bit. Crypto is down a lot. That's because that doesn't mean that crypto's dead. It just means that crypto is a little more dramatic, I would say, than the stock market, a little more volatile. Okay. Where are you feeling it most today? Like if you're watching this and kind of panicking, are you feeling it most in stocks? Or are you feeling it most in crypto? Or you could just tell me that I'm in cash and judging everyone. Okay, so what are the reasons for this? What's going on today? So I want to look at 3 buckets here. The first bucket is the macro environment, so the money climate. The Fed just held rates steady and basically said, we're not rushing to cut. And when rate cuts pause, markets reprice expectations, and risk assets usually flinch first. So think of the market like a common house plant. Let's see. Low rates are the sunshine and the water, and higher for longer is you forgetting it on the porch in Arizona. Probably in the middle of summer. Okay, so I'm gonna go. So here we can see there was all kinds of headlines. This one was from the 28th, but the Fed holds key interest rates steady as economic view improves. I mean, we saw this everywhere. Let's see. And now I'm going to go to this. And this is an economic calendar on investing.com. And the reason that I'm taking a look at this is because I'm just, these are the tools and the resources that I use to try and figure out what's going on. So what I'm looking for here on this economic calendar, this is for today. And I'm looking for what the market thought was going to happen versus what happened. So if you look here, let's see, we've got a legend down here. So 1 star is low volatility was expected, moderate volatility was expected, and high volatility expected was 3 stars. So if we go back up, this populates during the day as you go, and this is the economic calendar, but you can see what was expected. Let's see, M3 money supply year over year, 2.8% was the actual, forecasted was 3%. This just kind of gives you an idea of where things fall compared to where the market thought it was going to fall. And this is a really good indicator if you're looking to track markets throughout the day. Okay. Let me go back to, I'm going to refresh this again because I thought it was down more than that. So the QQQ is down 1.14. Okay. So we were just talking about the macro environment as the macro environment that we're looking at, and that was just one of the indicators, the economic calendar that I showed you, that I try and stay up to date on macro environment issues. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to move on to the next thing, unless you want me to keep talking about the Fed or just tell me, hey, move on from the Fed. We're over it. Okay. Actually, I do want to say one more thing on the Fed, though. We have had so many headlines recently with the Fed. It's two big personalities that are arguing right now about the charges over Jerome Powell, which Jerome Powell has come out in the last couple of weeks and said, this is because we wouldn't capitulate and lower rates. And Donald Trump has said that there's nothing to do with that. I'm actually going to, let's see if this will work for me. Up. That's why. Okay. I'm going to share a video here. Because I found this very interesting, and you can let me know in the chat if you found this interesting too. I know there's this argument going on back and forth about whether this was retaliation for the Fed not dropping rates, and whether this was the administration trying to manipulate that. But then I came across this video of Anna Paulina Luna, who says that these files were charges were looked into and filed over a year ago. And so I just would love to know your thoughts on that. I found it very interesting. So we're just going to play this for a minute. Probably not going to play it all the way through, but I want you to hear.
Investigation. Yeah, so
I'm going to mute myself here because it looks like I am getting a message from Martyn. So pardon me for just a second here. Oh. I apologize. I was not playing the audio. I don't know why. So I will just recap that for you. Basically, Anna Paulina Luna said that these charges were filed over a year ago, and that this had nothing to do with the rate cuts, and it had to do with Jerome Powell's testimony in front of Congress. So Okay, so we're going to actually move on from the Fed now and talk about what else is going on today. So, earnings and AI spending nerves are playing into this downturn. Tech weighs on everything. And let's see. Also, the second bucket here is earnings, especially big tech. So today's market mood is getting dragged by tech results and guidance, particularly around AI spending and whether profits are showing up fast enough. Microsoft's update spooked investors on cloud growth and spending concerns, and that weighs on the whole AI trade. So Wall Street right now is like, we love AI, we just don't like the bill. And okay. So when leaders wobble, the index wobbles. Are you worried about earnings slowing down or valuations being too spicy? Which are you more worried about? Let me know in the chat. Okay. And this is where headlines and uncertainty push people towards safety. Gold has been ripping while investors digest geopolitics and policy uncertainty. And that's the classic I want to stay safe behavior. Crypto tends to move with risk sentiment. And today, crypto headlines are basically risk off, plus traders are cautious, plus derivatives are cooling. Crypto is not just an asset, it's also a positioning playground. When leverage unwinds, drops get sharper, steeper. Okay. So we're going to go back to the chat again. And then I started late and I do have somewhere that I have to run this afternoon. So I'm just going to look in the chat, see what's going on. And then I think we're going to call it a day. Can't hear it. I know. I apologize, guys. I will get this down. I don't know why it was not playing through. High energy investments. I'm waiting for XRP to go up or to go under $1.60 to add to my bag. Nice. And you guys can find, for those of you who are Electrum and above or are Discord members, Martyn is constantly updating and posting his trades there. No sound, lost ya. I like her better on mute anyway. Oh, songs for space. Okay. Let's see. Any news status on Ripple or status of Ripple Bank? No, but I will look into that and we can discuss that next week. Let's see. It's time we the people, none cause if you position yourself, you're safe, but you have to pay attention to the news and what's going on and the market. Absolutely. High energy investments. Love your thoughts on this. World Liberty Financial will host the flagship forum in Palm Springs on February 18th, 2026, with leaders from Goldman Sachs, CFTC, Franklin Templeton, and FIFA, among others. I am keeping an eye out on that meeting. Absolutely. I mean, you've got a lot of big players that are going to be there and a lot of decisions that are going to be probably being made, a lot of handshake deals happening. And I am hoping that we see some major push forward for the crypto markets coming out of that meeting. So I will be keeping a close eye on that. Hello from Holland. This is Ace Ventura, 1969. Hello from Holland. Are the traditional banks against crypto because they think it's going to take profits away? I mean, the banks, the way that banks work now is, They basically, when we deposit money, we think that it is sitting in a little vault in an envelope with our name on it. But really, what's happening is that they are making a lot of money on the money that we have deposited, because they loan that money out, things like car loans, house loans, personal loans, and they're making a return on that money. And the decentralized nature of crypto changes that. And so I think that banks are looking at creative ways that they can profit on that, but also they are looking at, if people were to move to a really decentralized system altogether, that would hurt their bottom line. And that's not financial advice. That's just my opinion. Okay. Let's see. Martyn is amazing. This is Knocking Star. Martyn is amazing. He's helped me start the ball rolling to buy crypto. So Casey, I will be your new follower. That's great. Thank you so much. And then Nick Jones 106, SEC CFTC are about to go live talking about US financial leadership in the crypto era. I don't know if anyone is going to be able to cover that. Maybe Martyn or Sensei or Vaz. I do have to run, but I will be here with you again next week. And thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And until next time,